Last weekend I was in Wyoming, and I visited a restaurant that started in Gillette, Wyoming, and it now has 8 different locations. And at the location I went to, one of the owners happened to be there. And he said proudly, and he should, "We started this business on $2,000. $2,000. Now we have 8 stores, and we still only have $2,000. That's because everything's been plowed back into the business, which results in more jobs for more people. That's what we're talking about. We want this economy to grow. Small business is the one that's making it grow. It's those guys with an idea and women with an idea that they can take that their last $2,000 and they can put it into something productive and they can grow it. Now, the problem is when they grow it, they pay the taxes on it immediately. They pay the taxes on it as though it actually flowed into their pocket, but it doesn't. And as a result, some of these people that have been successful, that are creating all these jobs, make more than $250,000 a year. They don't get to keep it. That's the important part. They don't get to keep it. They have to pay taxes on it right away, and that puts them into this new higher tax bracket. It's going to have a devastating effect. Suddenly, the house that they own, they're not going to have the same kind of a house deduction as if they didn't have a business at all. And the charitable contributions, you know, it's these small businesses that really keep the towns going. It isn't the big corporations that buy the ads in the yearbooks. It isn't the big corporations that make the donation when somebody comes around because there's been a fire. It's those little businesses that want to grow, that are growing, but they're having to put everything they've got back into it. I know of small businessmen who have been able to pay everybody that works for them, but not themselves. I mean, we're not talking about the big corporations with the big bonuses here. We're talking about the little corporations that are family. By family, I mean every employee that works for them understands how difficult the business is, how close to not succeeding the business is, and because they want their job, they help the business to succeed. But as a result, they're included in the family. I want to be clear. I want to work with the president to get our economy back on track. I want to fix housing, reform the financial markets, and help every citizen to get access to high-quality, affordable health care. I want our president to succeed in leading our nation out of this economic crisis. But I draw the line with President Obama's ideas of raise taxes. He may think it's a great idea to raise taxes in the midst of a recession, but I sure don't. And the president's proposed tax increase is a whopper. $1.4 trillion. I don't even know how big the number that is. $1.4 trillion in new taxes. Despite the White House rhetoric, these taxes will hit all Americans. No one is spared. This budget raises taxes on energy. If you drive a car or you heat your home, your taxes are going to go up. This budget raises taxes on small business. More than half of the small businesses that employ between 20 and 500 employees, that's the federal definition of small business, 20 and 500 employees, will see their tax bills rise and jobs eliminated. This budget raises taxes on senior citizens who are dependent on dividend and capital gains income for retirement income. This budget raises taxes on charitable contributions, and just the announcement that it will happen has already been decreasing charitable contributions. This budget reinstates the death tax, making it harder to keep the family ranch or family farm or family business in the family. This budget simply taxes too much. I've heard lots of complaints from Wyoming ranchers about the president's tax increase. Many of our ranches and farms are structured as S corporations or limited liability corporations, and this tax hike would really hurt them. The president will say that his proposal to let some 2001 tax cuts expire will affect only 3% of all taxpayers. But this statistic obscures the fact that these taxpayers employ the most number of workers and generate the most economic activity of all small business entities. So nearly a quarter of all business income would be subject to higher taxes under this budget. Let me repeat that again. Nearly a quarter of all business income would be subject to these higher taxes under this budget. Raising taxes on our nation's job creation engine at any point in the business cycle is just bad economic policy. The key to our nation's economic growth and our ability to recover from crisis like this one is the flexibility and the vibrancy of our non-corporate sector. Small business is the incubator for entrepreneurship, and we should protect it and nurture it, not tax it. When I was in Wyoming, I had a procurement conference. That's where the federal government comes to Wyoming and talks to my businessmen to see if small business can't provide for some of the government contracts. And every year, it's a huge success, and people all over the nation, not just Wyoming, are able to take advantage of that sort of thing. But at that conference, a guy in Montana was talking about the need for some liquidity so that he could get a loan, not a bailout, a loan so that he could grow his business. But as we learned at the White House summit on Monday, the banks don't have a secondary market for their loans. That means when they make the loan, they can't turn around and sell the loan, so they free up the capital to be able to make another loan. And when that happens, these small businesses can't get loans. And a lot of them need short-term credit. You have to order your inventory a year ahead of time often, and when it gets there, you got to pay for it, and then you sell it. So a lot of them need just kind of a cash flow loan, one that'll pull them through that time when all the inventory hits and gets paid off by the time the inventory gets sold. So a guy in Montana talked to a guy in Wyoming who talked to me and proposed several different ways that I've passed on to the White House and to Secretary Geithner that money could be freed up for these businesses to be able to grow. And I'm encouraged and hope that that will happen. I hope that it's not reversed by these new taxes. I will fight to preserve low taxes for our nation's small business, and I'm prepared to offer an amendment to any legislation that attempts to raise taxes on small business income. I've pledged to work with the White House to fix housing, to reform our financial markets, and to help every citizen get access to high-quality, affordable health care. My question today is, will the White House work with me to protect small business from the harmful effects of this budget's tax increase? This budget taxes too much, spends too much, borrows too much. I yield the floor.